If you've been a good guitar student, you've probably learnt a few scales in the hope that this will help you play some great rock guitar solos. But then, trouble is, you tried to use it over a backing track or in a song, and rather than a great solo, it just sounded, lo and behold, like you were playing a bloody scale up and down. If this sounds familiar, then stick around because I have 3 ideas that will hopefully help you out. Alright, so if we're going to do a solo, we need something to solo over. So I've cobbled together a little backing track here in the key of A, which sounds like this. Typical kind of rock affair. Obviously I'm keen to avoid any copyright strikes here, but it might possibly remind you of a certain Australian rock band with letters in their name, or maybe ZZ Top, or as I like to call them in my accent, ZZ Top. But it'll serve us pretty well as a setting for kind of your typical rock guitar ideas. Now then, if you've learnt any scales at all, it's probably a safe assumption that you have learned this one. The A minor pentatonic scale. In case you haven't, quick run through it. We're starting at the 5th fret on the 6th string, and we're going 5, 8. Then on the 5th string, 5, 7. Then on the 4th string, 5, 7. Then on the 3rd string, 5, 7. And then in case you were getting bored with all that, bit of a change coming on the 2nd string, 5, 8. And then 5 on the 1st string. Real evergreen favourite amongst guitarists, works over many, many different styles and will serve us particularly well here. Alright, let's get into lick 1 then. Right, lick 1 then, based on a very, very simple idea, inspired by the fact that the mistake I see students making time and time again when they get into improvising is quite simply working too hard. They tend to play the entire scale up and down in sequence, and quite honestly, you don't need to do that much to come up with something. So this is a very typical kind of repetitive pattern. We're going to play on the 2nd string, going from the 5th fret to the 8th fret. Now I'm not doing what a classical guitarist would do and reach over with the little finger. I'm going to tilt my hand and reach over with the 3rd finger, because what I'm going to do is hammer on and then pull off. So it's going 5, 8, 5, and then to make that a 4-note phrase, I'm going to stick the 7 on the G string, the 3rd string at the end of that. So it's going to go. And because it's a group of 4, we can play quite a fast rhythm with that. We can play a semi-quaver pattern where we're just playing 4 notes every beat. 1 Eana, 2 Eana, 3 Eana, 4 Eana. And we're kind of suspended there because we're not playing a root note. We're not playing an A note. So I'll probably come down the remaining notes of the scale like that to kind of give it a resolve, bring it home. Okay, let's try that over the track then. It's funny, you can learn all the intricate, complicated stuff in the world, but the stuff that gets a big cheer from a crowd, in my experience, something really simple and repetitive like that. Lick 2 then, we're going to get a little bit fancier by adding a little bit of melodic colour through some notes that are not actually in the minor pentatonic scale, but are very common additions to it. This track, being quite blues influenced, it kind of blurs the line between major or minor. It's not entirely one or the other. and this gives us quite a bit of leeway in terms of the notes we can play over the top of it. So we don't have to stick to the minor scale exclusively. What I'm going to do here is add this note here, which is the major sixth. We're going to find it at the 7th fret on the B string. Now, in amongst that scale, it might sound a little bit odd, but in context it works really, really well. So I'm going to start off with, again, very kind of typical blues rock idea and go. Make it a little bit raunchier with the use of some double stop. So I'm playing both the G and the B string at the 7th fret and bending up a little bit and down, and then playing those same two strings again, both at the 5th fret. And then I'm going to play around that area of the scale for a little bit. Notice I'm just flattening the 3rd finger there to play both of those strings at the 7th fret. And then just take us down the scale. But I'm going to add this flat 5th note at the 6th fret on the A string. And then, rather than play the C and the A there, I'm going to move down to the 3rd fret on the A string and pull off. Just to get a little bit more resonance than there, I find. So our whole lick is going to go something like this. So we're essentially going down the scale, but we've zhuzhed it up a little bit. Let's see how that works. And lick 3 then. We're going to be brave here, and we're going to venture into an area of the neck that isn't this box shape here. Very, very important to take on board that scales are not shapes. We use shapes to play them because it's the nature of the instrument. But a scale is a collection of notes. It's not a physical shape, fundamentally. And it really does pay to know what the notes are that you're playing, because then you can transfer them elsewhere. So the details of the A minor pentatonic scale then, we have an A note, funnily enough, then a C, a D, an E, and a G. And then we come back to A and it starts again. And if you know that, you can really start to open up the neck for yourself. So we're going to move up to this position. I'm going to be playing this D note at the 15th fret on the B string, and I'm going to bend it up to an E. So I'm bending it up a full tone, and then once I'm there, I'm going to reach underneath with the little finger and play this G note at the 15th fret on the E string. And you play them together and you get a very pleasing kind of raucous effect. And then I'm going to come down to the C on the B string 13th fret, and then to our root note, the A, at the 14th fret on the G string. That works really, really nicely if you add a little bit of vibrato to that bend as well. If you're not confident about how to add vibrato to notes, I just so happen to have a video about that. Please do check it out. But anyway, our whole lick is going to go like this. there we go, 3 fairly straightforward rock guitar licks for you. I hope they serve you well. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed, please consider liking and subscribing, and I will see you with something else very soon. Cheers. Bye.